There is a place in our society once considered sacred, a place meant for solace, reflection, healing, moral guidance, and spiritual renewal. That place is called the pulpit. But in recent times, something has changed. More often than not, that pulpit has quietly been recast as a campaign podium, a stage for political performance disguised in the language of faith. Consider these troubling incidents. A politician walked into a house of worship and before a congregation expecting prayer and comfort, spoke about how votes in the city had been zoned, as if the people in that pew were blocks on a map to be parceled out, not men and women deserving dignity. Yet another Sunday, a legislator used the pulpit to demand that Kenyans abroad, activists, critics, dissenters, be repatriated or dealt with if they cause trouble. These calls for punishment, cloaked in religious ceremony, were met not with correction, but with silence. These are not isolated stray comments. They are part of a pattern. Politicians using spiritual platforms, spaces meant for faith and unity, to amplify division, tribal signaling, fear, anger, and political mobilization. It forces a question many of us are already asking in hushed tones. Do we still have a pulpit or just a stage? Are our religious spaces still sanctuaries of conscience and compassion, or have they become battlegrounds for campaigns and tribal contests? Because there is a difference, and the difference matters. When the pulpit becomes a podium, it legitimizes politics with a veneer of holiness. It normalizes tribal arithmetic inside places that are meant to transcend identity. It trains congregations to see neighbors not as fellow humans, but as voters blocks or threats, and it degrades spiritual authority into political spectacle. And that costs us more than a sermon. It costs us our moral compass. It damages the social trust we need to live together in our diverse nation. It blurs the line between governance and gospel, and that is dangerous. And so I say this to those who hold the microphone, not for redemption, but for rallies, and to those who preach, not for healing, but for votes. Enough. If you want to campaign, go get a podium. If you want to shepherd souls, then keep the pulpit. But don't pretend that a pew makes your politics holy. And to the clergy, the spiritual custodians, I ask you now, do you want a church or a political theater? Because a church demands silence for the conscience. A theater, on the other hand, demands applause for the ego. Choose carefully.